Hi guys, welcome back to episode 3 of Behind the Track Limits podcast.
So today we are going to be talking about Imola. What is everyone's thoughts?
Kate, what's your thoughts?
Oh, I think it was a great race, to be quite honest. Like, it was very interesting to see the rivalries and the crashes. Yeah.
I actually really enjoyed the race. Very action-packed, as you said, with like the crashes and the rivalry. There wasn't much so of a Max and Lewis rivalry this race, with obviously Lewis having front wing damage, so it kind of just affected his race a bit. But yeah, all in all, I really enjoyed the race.
So I enjoyed it. Obviously, we got the Williams and the Mercedes thing. Quite enjoyed that. Obviously, it's not going to happen very often, I'm guessing. I don't really know what happened with Bottas in the race. Like, he just wasn't on it. But yeah, all in all, like with the wet conditions and stuff, it was exciting.
I thought it was a really good race. I enjoyed it. I obviously was not happy for a good amount of it.
Hey, good morning, Kaia. Shut the
up. But I loved seeing Lando on the podium. I thought that he drove like really well, and especially like since he did not as well as he hoped in qualifying. And also, I just loved seeing the Red Bulls of Max Verstappen doing really well. Like,
yeah. I really did enjoy the race, even if Charles didn't get on the podium, which I was a tidgy bit annoyed about. I was about to throw hands, but
why are you running? Why are you running?
Then again, Lewis did have the pace more than Charles, but with the Ferraris finishing 4th and 5th, I did really like that because it shows that they got the pace back. All in all, it was a very good race. Max was on it from the start. Like, he was just there, and it was amazing.
I enjoyed it. God love a wet race, you know, makes it more exciting and stuff, but also like you never know what's going to happen, and it's like also like depending on tires and stuff. But like overall, like I enjoyed seeing Lando on the podium, and yeah, I think it was very exciting, and I hope there were more like that.
Enjoyed it as well. I think it was just really unexpected in the end. I came on expecting like Red Bull domination because of the quali, and seeing Checo P2, I was like really excited about that. And then all the Williams drama and the Bottas versus George thing. I don't know, it was just really nerve-wracking, but I really enjoyed it as well.
Well, Max won, so that's what I have to say. Max won, so, and I think Lando performed very, very well as well, and so did Lewis. So I think it was a pretty good race.
They all looked like happy on there. You know, there's usually one driver that's a bit bitter about the position that they've come in. But they all looked generally happy to be on the podium. So it's something nice. It's gutting for Charles though. Would have loved to see Charles on the podium because his pace was amazing, as well as Carlos's. But the podium for Lando was very much deserved.
Yeah, in the second race as well.
It helped him a lot actually with the red flag. But going out on softs and being able to manage softs for that long is something incredible to do.
Because the red flag also helped. The red flag also helped Lewis as well. Like it helped him get back and regain his position as well, which was.
Yeah, I feel bad for Checo, you know, like it's very hit and miss. I feel like he needs to just keep on doing awful in quali and then just like bring it back instead of starting at the front, because the front is clearly just not his forte at the moment.
No.
Yeah. He's definitely a Sunday man, isn't he, compared to like a quali. He like
for sure.
He doesn't have the one lap pace, he just has the race pace and everything. So I think he will succeed more in the race and say the qualifying.
Yeah. Like a lot of people are talking about like comparing Checo and Alex together, but like to be honest, they're two completely different drivers, and you can't judge someone off a second race.
Yeah, for sure.
Sergio's been in the sport a lot longer than what Alex was. So Sergio's obviously going to have a lot more experience than Alex. So you can't compare neither of the drivers. Whereas, say we was comparing Yuki Tsunoda and Mick Schumacher, and the one to not be mentioned, respectfully, they'd all be kind of at the same. Maybe Yuki a bit higher than the both of them, with the fact that Yuki's got a better performing car, but they're all still rookies. They've all come into the sport at the same time, whereas Sergio and Alex, different years. So, and Sergio's been in different teams to get to know Formula One and get to know the different kind of cars.
He's also been
he's had the experience.
Teams, right? So, and he has done a great job with that too, like being on Racing Point and then coming up last season doing such a great job with a midfield car. I feel like he's got all the experience and knowledge to bring the Red Bull car to the front line.
Yeah. I feel like obviously Checo's got like the experience that I feel like last weekend kind of proved that like it's not so much the driver, it's the car, and like the driver's got to step up to the standard of the car. Like the car isn't going to come down to your standards anytime soon, because Red Bull create cars that constantly stay at the front of the grid, and if the driver can't make that car perform the way they want it to, then that's fair enough. Like you can't blame it on the drivers, because now they've got someone experienced, and people are already comparing them to someone who's been in the highest level for 2 years. Like you can't compare. Like,
I think with the Red Bull as well, you've got to have sort of a certain driving style to suit the Red Bull, and I feel like Sergio's got more of the driving style than Alex did. I think Sergio's a bit more aggressive when he drives and stuff, a bit like Max, because obviously they'll probably mostly base that car off Max's driving, because obviously he's the one that's like winning, he's the one that's getting podiums and stuff. So they need someone that's got a driving style like Max, which I think Sergio can help him develop, because as much as obviously I did love Alex in it and everything, for them to get above the Mercedes, I think having Sergio will be really, really good for him, to like get him up there and get him beating the Mercedes. So we have that rivalry.
Yeah, I think they kind of threw Alex into the deep end a bit with putting him into Red Bull seats so early on and not really giving much interest into Pierre Gasly in that Red Bull. You know, you're going to have to get used to the car. You know, the Toro Rosso and the Red Bull, they're both going to be completely different. One's obviously going to have, they both have the same engine, but the powers of the both of them are going to be completely different in the way like it is. So, you know, he just kind of got thrown into the deep end, and he wasn't able to like show what he could do in that car. And I'm sure he would have been able to do like amazing things, but yeah, I'm just hoping to see Alex come back to the sport soon though, because I really like Alex and I miss him. So.
There's potential there.
I really want to see Seb go back to Red Bull. I know it will probably never happen, but I just love to see Seb back in that Red Bull. I think it'd just be so good. I know it might not happen.
Everyone would still hate him though.
I think Netflix tried to wind us all up with when Christian was talking to Vettel and they were on about, and Christian was like, "Oh, come back," and Seb was like, "Yeah." Like,
he was like up for it.
I was like, "Please."
Like, come on, give it to us then. Like, don't get hopes up. We want Seb back in Red Bull.
Definitely.
I feel like though, when Seb retires, I feel like he'll replace Helmut Marko in his role. I think Seb could be a really good advisor, because Seb actually has experience and like knows the way Red Bull works. I mean, it might be a bit different now, but like having that will boost the younger drivers who are coming up through their team. I mean,
do you think Helmut Marko's got his eye on a Yuki Tsunoda at the minute? But he's like, "Oh, I like him."
I'm watching you.
Let's compare him to Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think Helmut Marko's a bigger stirrer than Christian Horner at this point.
100%.
Yeah. Getting over it.
Watch Helmut Marko be in the seat for 2022.
Just stick himself in it.
Yeah.
Like, actually, Max, Sergio, don't need you. I'll just do a one-man show.
Yeah. He'll be like, he'd be like, see Pierre, even I can do better than you.
Poor Pierre.
I know, bless him. I feel so bad for him. As if he fucking started the race on full wets, as if it was like gonna be like a
rainstorm.
And they left him out for too long. They
Yeah,
definitely left him out for too long. Yeah.
I think
he was at that ages.
Yeah.
That strategy was just not the one for Pierre. Like, I think obviously they probably didn't want to bring him in because everyone was like going like really fast and everything. But I think because he just kept it literally, he was like a sitting duck for ages, and they just never kept bringing him in. So I think that did mess his race up a bit. But then again, they probably thought it might work, but I don't really see how it could have worked. But I guess they took a gamble, and the gamble didn't work. But
yeah.
I know this is nothing about Pierre though, but I love his engineer. Like, his little voice is so cute. I love him.
P9, Pierre, P9.
Thank you. Talking about engineers, Mick's engineer. I love Mick's engineer. He's so nice. He's like, it's okay, we'll get sorted. He's so calm. I think Lando on his stream was like, I love Mick's engineer. So even if Lando Norris is saying it, then
did anyone see the post on Haas's Instagram page when one of the members of the team passed away and they had to turn their comments off because it was just people bashing Nikita Mazepin?
Oh my god,
I didn't see that. What did it say?
But it was just people telling Nikita Mazepin to die in the Haas comments.
Oh, that is so
sad. And they had to turn them off.
They've literally just lost like a team member. Like, when you work in a like F1 team, it's literally family, and like you don't want people like saying stuff like that. Like, you want to let people know and like get it out that obviously he did pass away and he was a team member and everything, and like obviously they meant a lot to each other. And saying that in the comments, it's just no need. Like, social media can be really toxic sometimes. There's just no need.
The F1 community is toxic. I will say that with heart. With absolute heart. It is so toxic. You know, the people that I know we spoke did wrong in so many ways, but at the end of the day, we can't do anything. So we can't do anything. He's staying in that.
We'll let his performance speak for itself. And his performance so far has already spoken for itself.
And people are wishing him to like spin and stuff like that. It's like, what?
And like, get on with his race. Like, I know what he did was wrong and that, but like, you've got to separate like racing from like the outside world. Like, I'm not in any way like saying what he did was right, but at the end of the day, he's going to be in the sport for a long time. Like, I think we've just got to get over it at this point, because he said his apology. There's nothing else he can do. Like, he's not going to be a perfect person. Is anyone?
Exactly.
No human's perfect. I'm sure us lot, I'm sure we've all made mistakes. So
definitely.
And, you know, when you have such popularity as F1 drivers do, if you do the minor thing, people over on Twitter, because it's always F1 Twitter that takes stuff out of context, and I'm sure you can all agree with me. You know, and what when in Lando's stream, what I thought was really good, and people bash Lando for this as well. When Lando mentioned about the Mazepin spin in Bahrain and how everyone was laughing at that, but let's also remember Schumacher spun in Bahrain. Mick didn't get that treatment that Mazepin did.
I think like even like with hate with like Lewis, like everyone's always bashing Lewis for it, but you can't not, like, the amount of podiums that guy has got. Like, he's just unbelievable. Like, he's an unbelievable driver. Like, he's got the talent. Like, it wouldn't be up there if he didn't have the talent. Like, he wouldn't be a world champion if he didn't have the talent. And people to this day still bash him, still say like he doesn't deserve it, like it's just the car. Like, you can't take away talent from someone when he's literally constantly putting the hard work and he's constantly like on top. Like, you can't take that away from someone, and people like bashing them and stuff, and it's like sometimes you got to think they are humans. Like, it can affect people.
Exactly. We've all got feelings, we've all got emotions, and you know, people are out here taking advantage of situations like that. I'm sure you know, all of us are on TikTok. I'm sure you've all received some comments in your videos, hateful comments. I know I have. And you know, sometimes that affects me, and I just think, why do some people sit behind a screen and say such horrible things, and then there's some people that actually wish death upon other people, and I just think,
yeah, it's so wrong.
But they'd never say it to your face. If they ever saw you, they would never say it. So I don't know why they bash people.
But the thing is, we're just like a bunch of girls that want to like create like content and everything for the sport we have a passion for, but for some reason, so like, not saying it's just boys, but some like girls as well, like it's just known as like wrong, and it's like, why? Like, if you like the sport, so can we. And it's like, sometimes you just want it to be a happy community, because like you want to discuss with people like what you love, like the passion you have for it, and sometimes it is just like tiring, because you just want to do good and you just want to make people happy, but sometimes again you just can't please everyone, can you?
Exactly.
Exactly. I think as well with like Lewis, like you can't just tell him to like not win, like it just doesn't work like that. And when the Lewis, Seb, Kimmy, all of them drivers, when that era comes to an end, you'll look back and think that was one of the most amazing few years of driving we will probably ever see in our lifetimes. And they'll look back on that, and then they'll think about the things that they've said. Like they'll look back and think, wow, Lewis, what an amazing driver. He achieved so much, like nothing could stop him. But then they used to just bash him because he won too much.
And it's like
win.
I think people forget that he did win a championship in a McLaren as well, and I think people do forget that. So
they always put it down to the Mercedes, don't they? And it's like he didn't just win in the Mercedes, like he did win in the McLaren as well. Like
the Mercedes haven't always been like amazing, so I think it's new people coming into the sport, seeing Lewis winning and all that, and then they're kind of taking it from that. And it's just like no.
And it's like, if George gets in a Mercedes and then he starts winning all the races, will he get the same hate as Lewis gets?
And
it's just like,
it's hard there,
and
it's
just
like
anyone that wins,
they just can't win on there. And I hate to say it, I know some of you are Max Verstappen stans, Kaia, for instance, but half the time the comments that I see people like being like are like just bashing Hamilton in general. It's the salty Verstappen stans. And that's the truth behind it. I love like the Verstappen fans, like I do, but there's just a little like yay much of them that are like bashing Lewis because he's won. No, you are now getting the greatest rivalry you will ever see. You know, the Max Lewis rivalry. That is
I can't wait for this season.
I am for it, but Mercedes and Red Bull actually being close for once.
And you know, a lot of people have been wanting it.
Exactly.
And you see Hamilton fans hating on Max for winning a race.
But like, this is what we want. Like, we want the racing, don't we? And like, even if like someone does win, it's still not going to please someone. But it's like, this is what it is. Like, it is racing. And this year, I think it is going to be a lot of them two rivalry, and I think it is going to be really good. Like, it's going to be like one of the best seasons, I think.
It's like it's like a modern day Lewis versus Vettel. It's like a modern day like rivalry like that. But but like at the end of the day, like you can't just say it's the car because the car doesn't drive itself.
Exactly.
And Bottas, if you can compare like Lewis and Bottas, completely different outcomes.
Also forget how hard it actually
was the car. If it was the car, then Mercedes would be 1-2 every single weekend, every single qualifying. And that's the truth behind it. We all saw how Bottas was in Imola. That's not the car.
Down in P9.
Maybe it was just a bad weekend for us. We all have our bad days, our bad weeks, you know.
I think with Bottas, because like he also never qualified very good, did he? And obviously it's being said like that Mercedes, like it cannot be in dirty air. Like if it's in dirty air, like if it's behind someone or anything, it just does not perform. I think that was one of like the reasons why like Mercedes and Bottas didn't do very well, because like they just could not, like they can't run in a line. So I think that was like one of the problems as well.
Yeah, I know this isn't like anything Mercedes related, but McLaren, for instance, obviously they've now got the Mercedes power unit. Lando was stuck behind Ricciardo in the race, and he said that he needed the clean air. So that goes to back Ellie's statement that they just can't do it in dirty air.
Yeah.
Like you've got to have that clean air to go and
challenge
other drivers.
Yeah, and like to like compare like Mercedes, like saying that it's like the car that why is one Mercedes battling a Williams that hasn't scored any points in the past like 4 years, comparing
more to lose than George
and then
did.
the other
That's for sure.
is competing against a Red Bull who like flat out performs every week. I mean, I know they have like their issues, so does every team, but like you'll very rarely see them at the back of the grid. Like, why is Bottas near the back of the grid in a car like that?
You mentioned Bottas and the Williams. Let's go on to the
the crash.
Prix and George incident. Mel, would you like to start off?
Yes, I would. Thank you. I do believe it's 60-40. I'm not going to say, which driver I think it's, the blame's put on. But I do think both drivers were at fault. But obviously, Bottas was down in P9. George was, about to get, but I think he was down in P9, whatever he was in. George had
P10.
everything to lose. The first Williams point. Yeah, it's somewhere close, but Bottas had everything to lose. He's down in P9. He's in a Mercedes. He's racing against, a Williams. If you're getting overtaken by a Williams, it's a bit embarrassing, So, was it maybe a sabotage? Because there is speculation that George is going to maybe take Bottas's seat for next year. So, did Bottas maybe feel a little bit pressured by being overtaken by your maybe future teammate or?
Yeah, to be fair though, Toto did like jump in and defend Bottas the best he could, because at the end of the day, Bottas is still his driver. He can't just go out and say, "Oh, it was Bottas's fault." Like Russell, it was nothing to do with. Like, he can't say that, because then that shows like how much confidence they have in Bottas. Which I'm assuming isn't very much at this point, because I mean, like the results.
I think.
Oh, sorry.
You can go, Sam.
I think with like the crash and stuff, like Bottas did come over, and then obviously George had to sort of avoid it. And then I think like when I watch it, I'm not 100% sure, but I think like obviously George got on the grass, and obviously then that made George like lose the rear end and everything, which I was quite sad about, because I was like, oh my god, George is going to get points. And then like when it happened, I was like, oh my god, that's a big crash. I'm happy like everyone like got out and everything. But, like, one of my favorite things is like when I think George went over to apologize, or I don't know, I think he went over to apologize, but then I think Bottas gave it, like, obviously threw his middle finger up, and then I think like George just seemed red, and then obviously smacked him.
Well, if you're going over to comfort, like if you're going over to him, like you're gonna obviously like say like what the hell.
Yeah,
and the guy just gives us middle finger, you're gonna be so mad. You're gonna be like, I'm trying to help, like I'm trying to figure out what went on, and you're giving me a middle finger. Like,
it was also like shock as well.
If you heard on the radios, he was shocked. He was absolutely scared. Like both of them. They were both scared.
Yeah, I think Bottas got a bit winded. Bottas got a bit winded. You could see when he got out of the car, like he weren't okay. And then there was the bit where they were like, because like obviously George was like in the middle of overtaking, and then Bottas just came in on the right.
Yeah,
like
I think he was trying to like obviously he's got the right to defend,
George off, and then obviously his tyre went onto the grass, and at that point, like, what can you do? There's nothing you can do. And like it made me think back to that quote that Senna said, if you don't go if you go for a gap that is there and you don't take it, then you're not a racing driver. And George took that chance, and unfortunately, it just didn't work out for him in the time.
It's a gamble.
I swear George said in an interview he went over to Bottas and asked him whether he was trying to kill them both. I swear that's what he was.
Yeah, that's what he said in his interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think because it was such a big
Bottas
crash,
also
like, yeah.
I think also with both of them, it's just kind of a heat in the moment as well.
Yeah.
People like mentioned about that, about obviously just kind of like shaming George really for hitting Bottas. Yeah, you know, it's a shit situation to be in, but you've got to understand from their point of view that they're probably a bit shaken up and it's all in the heat of the moment. You know, look at Ocon and Verstappen.
Yeah,
that's the same. Yeah, it might have been some pushing about and some here, there, back and forth comments, but it's still somewhat the same kind of situation.
Yeah, we've got to think they're all like pumped up with adrenaline and like they're literally like, because obviously that's their job, like that's what they love. And obviously if you then get taken out, you are going to be annoyed, aren't you? Because like you want that position and you want to do good. So like obviously it's probably not the best to hit him, but in the heat of the moment you probably don't realise what you're doing. You're probably just acting off like your adrenaline and everything and what your thoughts are and everything.
And I'm 100% sure George has apologised.
Oh yeah.
But you know, it's heat of the moment things, like, you know, people say stuff in the heat of the moment. I have.
And like because points are so special, like so like rare for them, that when he has a chance of getting them, he wants to really push until he gets them.
Definitely.
And then like at the end of the day, like F1 fans like giving out the blame and all of that. At the end of the day, none of us are F1 drivers. None of us have tried to go up a bend at 200 miles per hour against a world championship team and someone who's not scored points. Nobody knows how the drivers feel in the moment. None of us have experienced any of that. So we shouldn't be allowed to place the blame.
What I found funny is when people blamed Mazepin for the Latifi and Mazepin incident. I can put my hands up and say that was Latifi's fault.
That was Latifi.
Came back onto the track. Yeah, he didn't see anyone behind him, but sadly Mazepin was there. Mazepin like nipped him in the rear end.
Yeah.
And he just went off, and
I
think
that was a racing incident, definitely.
Exactly, and stuff like this happens in racing, and people are acting as if it doesn't.
So let's start with Ocon v Alonso.
Okay.
Right, who's going to kickstart?
I can if you want. So the Alonso and Ocon, obviously Alonso, yes, he's like had so much experience in the racing, but I thought Ocon would sort of do better than Alonso because obviously he's been in that team for 2 years now and everything. So I did think he was going to do quite good, but I think Alonso is coming in and is, I don't know, I think he's a bit more of a racer, if that makes sense. So like he's very much a Sunday man compared to like maybe Ocon is. But I think Alonso is getting along really well in that Alpine.
I mean, personally, I really like Alonso being back.
Yeah, there was in Bahrain when he got like a sandwich wrapper like stuck underneath his car, and that was just like ended his race.
I still don't believe it.
Literally.
Someone got the Tesco meal deal beforehand and was like, "Ooh, here's a place to hide it."
That would be nice.
So, I love a good ham and cheese sandwich. Ooh.
I like
Lance versus Vettel though.
Well, Seb's still obviously getting used to the Aston Martin. I said that really poshly.
Martin.
Martin. I'm from the north. I'm not posh. Seb's still obviously getting used to the car. Obviously Lance is going to outperform him at the minute. I'd like to see Seb outperform Lance as well. I would honestly, I'd love to see a Seb podium. It's a long shot, but I'd really love to see it. He deserves it so
for
much.
sure. He does.
With Ferrari.
Been too long.
But yeah,
It would just be the greatest comeback ever. I feel like Seb with an Aston Martin on a podium.
Yeah.
A dream.
I also think that Lance being in the Aston Martin, although it's not performing like the best, this could be his chance to actually show that he is a very good driver and prove like everyone wrong, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think at the moment, obviously with him outperforming Seb, it sort of is showing like he does have talent. Like it's not all down to him just getting in from his dad. Again, it's sort of the same thing of like obviously Lance being in that car for a good few years is where Seb's new to it. But I did expect more from Seb because obviously like he's been in the sport for years and stuff. But then I guess he still has got to get used to the car and everything and like maybe adapt his driving style to the Aston Martin. But to be honest, Lance at the minute is doing pretty okay in that Aston Martin.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Lance podiums as well. But also Seb than Lance. No hate to Lance. Just Seb holds us Seb more.
Lance has more time. We need this Seb right now.
Yeah.
We don't know when he's gonna retire. I'm not ready for that, but
no, I'm not. I would literally like have a box of tears when box of tears? A box of tissues when I find out he retires. And same with Lewis.
It's gonna be a sad day.
And Kimmy, I reckon Kimmy's got like 1 year or so.
Yeah.
Whoa, everyone just spoke. I was like, what? I don't know who spoke.
I don't know who went. No, I was just saying, I don't think Kimmy's got that long left. I think maybe give it a year or so, and we do need to see more. Obviously, we had 3 younger rookies come up, but I feel like someone could have had his seat last year, maybe Mick, to show. Obviously, the Haas isn't the one for Mick. So
yeah, definitely.
Unpopular opinion,
yeah.
Go on.
No. Actually, I don't know if it's really unpopular, but I think if Checo goes, if they don't want him next year or whatever, I think that if Yuki carries on kind of the way he is, I think they'd put Yuki in their seat than Alex, if that makes sense.
But would we want that though? This is the thing. Would we want that? Because like I said with Alex got thrown in the deep end.
Yeah.
So you don't want the same thing to happen to Yuki for him to then get booted out.
Yeah.
But Yuki could always perform better than Alex did, if that makes sense.
Alex. Oh my god!
I'm just
not in the sport anymore right now. But God, come on, let's have some love for Alex.
I think it depends. Obviously, they could probably have someone probably even Seb go back to Red Bull, because I think for them to obviously develop, I think they would need someone there that has more experience than just 1 or 2 years, because I think they've tried that obviously with Pierre and Yuki, with Pierre and Alex, and obviously it didn't work. So I don't think they'd throw another rookie straight in. I feel like they'd probably want some more experience, obviously with Checo. But with Kimmy, I think he doesn't have long left, and I don't know if Lewis has. So I don't know if Lewis is going to stay for these new regulations. If he wins this championship, I don't know if he's going to stay for the new regulations or anything. I just have a feeling.
I think if he gets this championship, then he'll just go, because it'll be great for him to get 10. But if he gets the 8th, then he's beat Michael Schumacher. He's equaled it at the minute, but then when he gets the 8, he is the one that holds the this
the top. I just think with obviously the new regs coming and everything, people don't know what to expect. They don't know who's going to be the fastest. Obviously, when it's the new season or something, it's normally Mercedes, Red Bull and Ferrari are probably going to be up there for the last few years. But obviously next year with everything, certain people are concentrating on the car more than others. Haas are concentrating on the 2022 car so much that they haven't put anything into this one. So it's anything could happen next year, which I'm quite excited to.
Imagine if it's faster, like the fastest car.
Yeah.
Imagine Mick Schumacher. Mick Schumacher on that podium again. Oh, yes, please.
Oh, things you'd like to see.
Yeah.
You know what? Back onto Alex though. I have like a really like strong feeling if like when he comes back, not if, when he comes back to Formula One. I have a very strong feeling he could go to Alpine. Oh,
yeah. Got that as well.
I'd love to see Alex in the McLaren, but I think more so I can see him going to Alpine like first.
Yeah.
Oh God, I've really just gave myself some ideas with Alex.
Here and Alex.
Because the thing is, obviously with Mercedes, if Lewis does leave, obviously George is probably going to take Bottas's, and if George leaves, obviously the one most likely going to go up is Ocon. So obviously then you've got 2 seats in Alpine, and obviously maybe Gasly might be going, and it might be a very like weird pairing to see Gasly and Albon together, but I think it'd be quite a good pairing for like a race.
I think they'd be a good pairing.
They'd be able to support each other.
Yeah,
they'll probably end up renaming the team.
Let's bond.
They'll probably rename the team to Red Bull Reject.
That'd be amazing.
And Marco would just be like,
oh God.
It's like team
this is my team.
That team, imagine.
Yeah.
I think though that cool. Like it could be a case that Vettel won't want to finish his career at Aston Martin. I feel like he'll want to go back to Red Bull for a year and finish there, like finish where he started.
He's just got to get a place, hasn't he?
Yeah,
quite a few drivers do that, don't they? They go back to where they started, so that'd be nice to see.
Yeah.
Because
just to hear Do This Weltmeister. Love that. I really do.
Yeah.
I miss Seb's prime. Like, it's kind of gone a bit, and I think we can all agree.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. It could come back in Aston Martin.
Yeah. With it.
Miracle.
I think Seb's kind of lost his way. A bit. Like he's I'll put it. He's far from home. Like like Ferrari was not his home.
No, Ferrari did not treat him right.
It's always Red Bull.
Oh my God! Imagine Lewis and Seb in the same team though. In the last years of F1,
that would be like the best bromance and team you will ever get.
Yeah.
It'd just be the cutest thing ever.
Oh my God! I just had a thought. If Mercedes do decide to sack Bottas off and they think Russell isn't ready yet, imagine if Vettel went to Mercedes and like 1-2'd with Hamilton for like a year.
Oh, that would be good.
That would be so good.
Because like we've already seen on the grid like how good of a friendship they have on and off the grid.
Yeah. So they'd be a good team to like work together, because obviously there probably won't be like the rivalry. Obviously they'll be like rivals on the track and stuff. But, do you ever think like maybe Hamilton could go back to McLaren to like finish off, or I don't think it would happen, but it'd be good to see if he ever does to like go back to like where he won his like first championship and all that.
Like I was talking to my dad the other day, and my dad, we were talking about it, and we was like, like if Lewis does decide to leave Mercedes, if Hamilton went, if Verstappen went to Mercedes, would Red Bull try and get Lewis Hamilton?
Yeah, it'd be so good to see.
Imagine that.
Has anyone watched Max's documentary? Yeah. Has anyone watched it?
Not yet.
What's it on? Like, it's on. I've been looking for like ways to watch it.
I'll send a link into the group. But there's a thing that Jos said that Mercedes wanted Max at one point before he went to Toro Rosso, but Mercedes wanted him 2 years after, so he would have started his Formula One career later. But Jos wanted him in the Formula One as quick as possible, so that's why he went into the Toro Rosso. So he could have potentially been in Mercedes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I think Red Bull has been so good to Max. Like I think Red Bull have made like Max like who he is, like where he's at.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like I wouldn't mind seeing Lewis at McLaren, but I think Red Bull obviously on the rise with their car, like they're getting a lot stronger, and I think Mercedes have peaked. Like I think they've peaked past their best.
Yeah.
I
think
remember
Red Bull's getting there now.
Yeah. I remember as a kid, I think I used to want to see Lewis like finish his like career in Ferrari, because McLaren and Ferrari are like my favorite teams. I've just always wanted Lewis for some reason to finish his career in Ferrari. Like just imagine that Lewis in red. I can't see it, but it. Oh,
I can't
I
see
think
it.
it'd be
I can't
quite
see it though, because they want Charles as their front man, and he won't settle for second.
I can't see Charles going anywhere else in Ferrari. I just could not see it. I can't even see it with Max. I feel like Max is at home with Red Bull. Charles is at home with Ferrari.
Ferrari has like that family history though with Charles, because of Jules. Jules wanted to be at Ferrari, and he was so close, and then obviously like he sadly died, and then Charles is like living out the dream that Jules always wanted.
Jules' legacy.
Yeah, like Charles has always said like he's always wanted to almost live his and Jules's like dream of going to Ferrari and everything. He's almost living that, and I think Ferrari are now happy with Charles having their as him being their number one driver, which I think is probably going to be good, because they can have Charles for ages. Like, I think he's got like a 5-year contract.
It's till 2024, I think, but I saw in the news recently that Charles wants another 5-year extension onto his contract. So
I literally cannot see him going anywhere else. Like I feel like he's going to stay there for like a good old while. You know, almost like Seb and Kimi were there for a good few years. I think Seb's going to be there for a good few years.
I think it's the case of now with like the younger drivers, like Charles at home with Ferrari, Lando at home with McLaren, Max at home with Red Bull. Like I think that's the way it's going to work out.
Mercedes soon enough.
Hopefully.
George is far from home, but very close to home at the same time.
Yeah, that's like a good
He's a member of the family, but he's just been loaned out because
he's like the adopted son. He's the adopted son.
He is. Yeah. Talking about that though, if Lewis and George was to be in a team, what a power duo they would be.
Oh, so good.
Can you imagine? I think they'd clash too much. I think they'd clash.
I think Lewis would be a really good mentor.
I think Lewis would like really like.
But like Lewis and George just have such different attitudes, and they have such a different outlook on life. Like I feel like
Max and Daniel though, kind of.
Yeah, in the drivers wise, they'd be a really good duo, but like personality wise, I don't really think they'd be like that good of friends. Like they don't really have what Seb and Lewis have. Like nothing's going to compare to that anyway.
Racing isn't about friendship; it's about performance and track.
But you do need a good relationship with your teammate.
100%.
I
think it'd be like Lewis and Bottas. Like they aren't like the best of friends. Like they're still friends, but they aren't like super close off track.
I do think if them two were ever together, that Lewis would be able to probably make George like into an even better driver than he already is. Like I feel like Lewis would be able to guide him and give him like advice and stuff. So if it ever did happen, I feel like it helped George quite a lot if he ever like in his first year or second year. So I think it would be quite beneficial to George if Lewis does stay.
I think if they did ever become like teammates, I think Lewis would be able to take George down a peg or two, because like from what like his team has said, like he's a very challenging person to work with, and he makes a lot of demands, but sometimes you can't have everything you want. Like I know it's like the benefit of the team, but like you've got to think of like both people and who it's going to affect. Like it's going to affect both drivers if they make changes.
Then sometimes I think it's quite good for someone like Williams. It's probably okay to have someone that's a bit demanding to sort of get that car to where George wants it, so he can get it up to the points and stuff like that. So I think it might help him being a bit demanding and stuff to sort of like guide him, if that makes sense.
I don't think he'll be as demanding in Mercedes as, you know, his end goal is to probably end up in Mercedes. So he's obviously, you know, trying to push Williams to, you know, the furthest they can go. And in Mercedes, you know, they're already basically at the top. George doesn't need to. You know.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
It's just a case of when Mercedes and Bottas is gone, like they're gonna need someone who's gonna keep performing the way that Lewis and Bottas do. Like,
and I'm sure George will do that.
Yeah, they're not gonna win. They're not gonna win the world championship like that. Like, gotta be realistic.
Yeah, but I think George will be able to. Has got such raw talent. He will be able to take Mercedes there.
He hasn't shone the way we want him to yet.
He's in a Williams. What do we expect?
Yeah, not the best.
Sorry, Melanie. What was that? Wasn't that a Williams trying to overtake a Mercedes in Imola the other day?
Let's not bash the Williams. It looks like it's quite.
Let's not bash the Williams just yet.
No, let's bash Bottas. He shouldn't have been in 99 in a Mercedes.
Yeah, we'll get another sauna, but it's probably going to end up in. He's probably going to have his own podcast and sauna. My struggles at Mercedes being number 2.
Yeah. Did anyone see that? You know, obviously, the Imola weekend, how Yuki kept getting all that bad luck. Yeah. Netflix was there with him, weren't they? It's literally the Netflix curse that did that to, like, because Yuki kept getting all these problems, and I was just like, when can this stop for him?
Yeah.
Well, apparently Netflix
go away.
Yeah, just don't.
Film, camouflage yourself.
Just do it from like behind the scenes. Just don't come near us, because otherwise it all goes to pot.
Okay, so let's quickly touch on Haas and selling to Dimitri Mazepin. So who wants to kick off that one?
I just think, obviously, Haas have got like no sponsors apart from like obviously Mazepin and Schumacher's personal sponsors. So obviously they do need a lot of money to come in, and obviously Dimitri has got a lot of money. But at the same time, I just don't think it's going to work still. And obviously, Rich Energy could be coming back, which also isn't another good thing. So I don't know if Gunther will leave too, but I'm not too sure.
Please don't say that to me. I'll start crying.
I know.
He's like one of the best personalities there.
Yeah,
he is. He's keeping it alive.
Oh, definitely. The Netflix series thrives off him. Absolutely thrives off him.
It's his personal show. I won a Gunter Steiner personal show.
He's not fucking doing that to me, you know? He does not fuck smash my door. Tell him that.
Oh, it'd be amazing, wouldn't it? That just like someone. Oh, they need to do like an unbox for Haas, but literally just follow Gunther around instead of like the drivers. I think that'd be mint.
They should do like a YouTube series, and it should be like a day in the life of an F1 team principal, and just like follow around, like learn everything he has to do, like for a race.
Yeah, and something because we've got like. What if they did all the teams? So,
fingers crossed, someone would have annoyed him and smashed his door.
That was like the best thing ever.
Yeah, because there's Ted's notebook after like every race. We should have something with Gunther.
Oh, not again! Not again! You're not getting me again.
Yeah. You gotta love Ted's notebook.
Yeah, whipping out the cheese.
Got some cheese?
Why do you come out of winter break and carry cheese around?
I just feel for Haas because obviously they need the money and they're just looking for sponsors, and I get that because they want to stay in F1. But at the same time, it's just sad because instead of focusing on the racing and like on getting better, they're just like so into like what are we gonna do with financial stuff. So it worries me because they obviously took the sponsorship from the Mazepins because they're in need, and I don't know if it was the best decision. I don't know. I just feel for Haas, and you can also see like how hard the actual cars are to drive. Like they're really hard to drive, and Magnussen and Grosjean were doing a really good job with the car. And now seeing this Schumacher and Mazepin struggling with the car, makes you kind of see. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like they're just struggling so much, and it's like you never want to see a team struggle as bad as they are at the moment. And I get like obviously they need the financial stuff because obviously F1 is such like a money-based like sport and everything, and it's just like sometimes I wish that like it was more about the racing and not all about the money. But unfortunately, it is such an expensive sport, so a lot of it is the money, isn't it? So
yeah. Definitely.
Miami 2022.
I'm excited.
I love a good street circuit.
It is like another
Imagine Joe Biden attending the Miami Grand Prix.
Joe Biden.
Well, the
I'd be straight to America. I love that guy.
I do
Tripping up the stairs.
Let's go to Miami, guys.
Oh, because anyone seen falling up the stairs with the Air Force One? I'm not even joking. He got back up and then fell again, and then he got back up and then he fell again like 3 times.
God,
that's so funny.
You know, I even watched like the whole like thing when he
J-Lo. Oh my J-Lo was just amazing.
I've never ever been so invested in politics in my entire life.
Yeah,
and you got like Trump's family like all
Is this a Joe Biden podcast now?
No, I was about to say that.
I'm page for Joe.
Yeah. I think the circuit looks really good, but like I feel like we need like wider circuits.
Yeah,
like, there's never
become
much
more
opportunity to take over.
Yeah, like the Saudi Arabia one as well.
Yeah,
definitely.
The Saudi Arabia one looks like a blooming bobby pin.
I feel like
or a broken knife.
I feel like the Miami one though, like you'll just get like the Americans, like obviously, but you know, like the famous people will be going as well because it's Miami.
Yeah.
So.
I think it'll be quite a good like money event if that makes sense.
Oh
so, like,
Like street circuit as well,
like Monaco.
Yeah.
If you want to go, then you're gonna need to get tickets fast before they absolutely skyrocket up.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be really expensive.
Yeah.
Like before that was announced, like Monaco was like the celeb Grand Prix. Like that was like the event.
That's the Europe
like, celebrities.
Europe
like in Drive to Survive, you saw Kris Jenner,
Yes,
all of them, like just like watching the cars, and Kris was
just like leaning over the edge.
Yeah.
It's like who doesn't want to go to the Monaco one just to experience it? Because like the yachts and everything, it looks amazing.
Oh, even walking the track, even when the Grand Prix is not even on, just walking it.
It's just like a road, but it's just.
I don't really have
I'm not excited for it. I think it's ruined Silverstone, to be honest. Silverstone's like such an iconic track. Like you don't need to like put a sprint race on it.
Yeah. And it's like there's a race for a reason. And like the whole point of the race qualifying as well is to have a race. So that it's sort of like there's 2 races. And it's like races on
what's the point in qualifying twice?
Exactly.
Why do you need to qualify for a sprint race when you know exactly who's going to be at the front in the first place?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on it. I don't think I'll have a proper opinion on it till like I've seen like what happens with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, like till I know like what sort of format is going to happen till I actually see how it turns out, if it turns out good or not.
Yeah, and I think they're thinking the same thing. Like they need to try it out, and if it works, maybe implement it. That's why they're just doing it. In 3 races.
Because it can benefit the drivers.
I feel it would definitely make it more exciting, maybe for new F1 fans.
Yeah.
Just to have more content.
But like,
the people that don't really watch the practices and maybe they get more interested in it.
Yeah,
that's true.
I think it would also be really stressful for the teams.
Because like what if you like have an incident and like someone bumps into you and you crash out and then you're pretty much writing your whole car off for the rest of the weekend?
If practices are so chaotic as they are.
Exactly. Like
with races, what the hell? It's gonna be crazy.
If you ruin your car, then there's not much you can do. Like you probably won't be able to compete the next day because like it'll cost millions to repair. 2, it'll probably take them like a week. Or 3, they probably won't be able to repair the car at all, and they'll have to build you a brand new one by the next weekend.
Unless it's Red Bull. Red Bull.
Unless it's Red Bull.
Is unbelievable. If I ever get to work for them, holy Jesus, I think they're literally unbelievable. Like the pit crew must be like the best one.
Yeah.
Like their pit
They're
stops
insane.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
who was it that had that crash and they repaired the car within like 10 minutes?
Yeah, they did, didn't they?
Max, he crashed, and then the car was actually just sat there on the grid, like being repaired, and like as the lights were about to go out.
Yeah. I think there was something. There was like, I think one of them had to have like a spark plug change. The spark plugs in like an F1 car is meant to take like 15 minutes. I'm pretty sure they did it in like 5. Like they literally got it done like that, and I'm like, honestly, Red Bull pit crew are unbelievable.
They're trained so well, like they're trained in so many different like circumstances. There was one where they did a pit stop in 0 gravity. It's like the car was just like floating in the air, and they did it like that. And they do it on beaches. They do it in Vegas. Like
did one on they're on the Ferris wheel as well.
Just crazy. Red Bull are crazy.
Red Bull communications team meeting, like, what's the craziest thing you can think about? Let's do that.
Put an F1 car in a helipad. Put an F1 car in a helipad and make it do donuts.
Do one against the rugby team.
Oh yeah. Oh, they made it race like an RAF plane as well. Like like fighter jet.
That was good.
That was a really good watch. I love watching them all the time. They're just so interesting.
Daniel misses that.
But like that's their whole brand, isn't it? Like gives you wings. Like that's their whole brand, which definitely makes them stand out more than other teams. Which is why I think they have so many supporters, because they do such crazy things.
Yeah, definitely. They create some really good content for like F1 and everything. So they get quite like big following, and obviously all the Dutch fans that love Max, and we all love the Dutch fans. They are like the best.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Dutch fans are ace.
Yeah, when you've got like literally just like a whole grandstand full of like orange, and you know it's for Max. It's like brilliant, I love it.
Like, like I'm not being funny, but I've never seen a Mercedes racing around a wind farm because they're like a 0 carbon emissions team.